Ms. Earl, if you state your name and address for the record, please, and you have up to 5 minutes.
I'm Shelia Earl. My address is 1314 Wendover Road, Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm here today to request that the 5-year strategic plan specifically state that K through 2 students will not be subject to standardized testing. I know when I was at the meeting, at Ms. Carson's meeting the other day, that she said the superintendent is not wedded to that plan, but from what I see, we're getting rid of all the other tests so that we can do that. However, according to the Tennessee State Board of Education, the K through 2 assessment is an optional test that districts can choose to use. The test measures basic reading and math skills and is a norm-referenced assessment designed to measure individual student achievement compared to national norms. The truth of the matter is virtually all specialists condemn the practice of giving standardized tests to children younger than 8 or 9 years of age. Well, according to the position paper of the Association for Childhood Education International states, while standardized tests are problematic at all ages and levels of schooling, they are especially questionable in primary grades. In these years, children's growth is most uneven and in large measure idiosyncratic. Skills needed for school success are in their most fluid stages. Implications of failure in these years can be devastating. A moratorium is more necessary now than it was in 1976, but it is time for teachers, school administrators, and parents to say more forcefully than ever that testing in the primary years must end, and testing thereafter must be reduced. Moreover, they question the need for testing every child for the remainder of the elementary years. The National Commission on Testing and Public Policy reached the same position, and the National Association for the Education of Young Children has also called for an end to K through 2 testing. As a matter of fact, the National Association of State Boards of Education stated that good schools for young children move away from a reliance on standardized achievement tests of basic skills. They move toward a philosophy of assessment that is continuous, based on children's performance and directed by the teacher. Excuse me. Standardized tests, I understand, are here for our 3 through 8 group. However, and we know that they're at best an unreliable measure. However, a 3-year study completed in October 2010 by the Jessel Institute of Human Development showed that an increased emphasis on testing is making children feel like failures now as early as pre-K. They have a number of negative consequences for children, according to a report in the Congressional Quarterly Researcher. And students who feel they can't pass the test lose interest in school, and the same is true for students who find the test too easy and too much the focus of their schooling. According to the U.S. Congress, and I quote, "The primary purpose of standardized testing is to provide data specifically calibrated to be helpful to legislators, school officials, university recruiters, and other administrative positions, all of which operate from outside the classroom." We do need to know if our students in K through 2 are unable to read before they get to grade 3. However, I have, in my 25 plus years of teaching, I have never known any K through 2 educator, and I was one at one point, that needed a standardized test to tell them whether or not their students were able to read, were advanced, or were below the reading level. I want to close with something that Nancy Carlson Page stated, which was in reference to testing primary age children. "What is being required of young children is unreasonable, inappropriate, and developmentally unsound. Of course we need to assess young children's progress. Without appropriate assessments, teachers cannot alter their practice to further children's learning. Years of research demonstrate that the best way to assess young children's learning is through the expertise of teachers who know how to observe and interpret children's activities and behavior, focus on children's natural developmental progressions and variations, and should be used to help teachers better support children's learning." Diane Ravitch goes on to say, "Why is our nation overdosing on standardized tests? Because the people in charge don't trust teachers. They don't trust teachers to make their own tests, as teachers did for generations and as teachers in other nations still do." Thank you.
Dave Gore.